Welcome to episode 18 of Hanging Out with the Monkey, the official podcast of OddsMonkey, the number one match betting service in the world. Joining me once again are Ricky from OddsMonkey.
Hiya.
And Phil from TrickyBet.
Hi.
So guys, lots to talk about, lots of great sporting action coming our way in the days and weeks. Where to begin? Well, the greatest show on turf, as they like to christen it, is the Super Bowl. The Americans love it. Is one of the biggest watched events in the sporting calendar, not really worldwide, but definitely in America. And obviously NFL has been lending itself to match betting this season with the 14 up, which has been used throughout from Bet365 when a team goes 14 points up, like the 2 up in football. And Ricky, it's been a welcome addition to the match betting circle, hasn't it, NFL? Probably one we weren't expecting. Like 12 months ago, you wouldn't have expected NFL to be such a part of match betting, but it's been a welcome addition, hasn't it?
It has. Not something I've taken too much part in at the minute, but yeah, with the kind of development of the 2 up kind of offer into the 14 up, it's kind of taken the imagination on. It's going to be pretty popular in the form and everything as well. But due to the hours of a lot of the matches, it's not something I've taken too much part in, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a strange one, and and Phil, with the NFL, sometimes with a 14 point up, the kickoff can come into play where the team who wins the kickoff or receives, so there's a greater chance whichever team receives of going 14 points up. I think you've got a 60-second gap there between the coin toss and trying to get a bet on with Bet365 or whoever and the exchange. Is that too short a time frame to wait for the coin toss and try and get a bet on?
It's definitely more advanced technique, but it's a pretty good idea, actually. Yeah, it's not something I'd actually thought of because I don't know that much about NFL. But
yeah, the team who wins the toss at the start of an NFL game will choose which half they want to return. So if they catch the ball in the first half or second half, normally the team defers and they kick the ball and then they choose to receive in the second half, so you get a bit of momentum. But that means whichever team is receiving the ball in the first half has, in theory, they should go 7 points up. Right. Therefore, they've by far got the best chance of doing it. But I guess it's not one we'd advise for the amateurs, but the experts amongst us, that's a real little niche there they could latch onto.
That's a really good tip, yeah. Really good. Did you know that, Ricky?
So I missed that. What was that? Sorry, Phil.
The team receiving, obviously there's that. You have the team who receive, Rick, from the coin costs have a big advantage of going 14 points up, but you'd probably only have about 60 seconds, maybe more, because there's a TV advert as well in between each one. You've got that little 60 seconds, 2-minute gap between the coin toss and the team starting the play of getting that bet on. Do you think it's a little incentive that people will latch onto?
If that's the case, I'm not too hot on NFL and what's happened. But yeah, if that is the case, and you know who's going to be attacking kind of first, then yeah, it could be an advantage for when the odds are a decent match.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit mentioned about it, but I think it's one for, as I say, it's not one for the amateurs to look at, but it's one to keep an eye on because it really does have a massive advantage. But anyway, we've had a good season with the NFL. There's been quite a few 14s up, which is, in layman's term, is 2 converted touchdowns. So there's a good chance we'll see it this weekend. Let's look back at the tips for the season. And I didn't realise this, Rick, that I had tipped up the LA Rams to win overall. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to my own advice and I backed the Kansas City Chiefs who went out last week. So I picked the Rams overall. I'm going to stick with them for the final. I think they're 6-5. I think they're a great price to get one over on the mighty New England Patriots. I think, Phil, you backed New England at the start, didn't you, Rick? I think he had them, and we'll be sticking with the Patriots this weekend, Phil, if you had to.
Yes. Yes, because I haven't even looked at the fixtures, so I will stick with them. I think, I said Philadelphia last time, so I was thinking they were going to...
I think they were good value, Philadelphia. Yeah, good value, yeah.
We won't mention my tip. That was...
Go on, Rick, who was it?
The Falcons, but yeah, they're long gone. So we.
Because the final is in Atlanta this weekend at the fantastic arena they've built, and obviously it's a Super Bowl hoodoo. No team has ever got to the Super Bowl in the hometown yet.
I went for the romantic bet and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, and would you be going going with the outside, the favourites of the outsides. Patriots are the odds on favourites in 4-7 in some places. I think it's a little short, but would you, if you had to, would you be going Patriots or Rams?
Put another bet on there. We're going with the Patriots.
Yeah, I think looking at the bookmaker, I think they took 3/4 of the bet to be on the Patriots. So I think everyone thinks they're going to come up right for Bill Belichick once again. And also this weekend, starting a bit closer to home, we have the Six Nations. I don't think any of us can profess to be rugby union experts amongst the three of us, but again, match betting becomes interesting with rugby union because we've seen the 10-up introduced. It came in for the autumn internationals late last year, and we've seen it once again for the Six Nations. Rick, again, a welcome addition to the match betting stable, and one which it's a bit close to rugby union, but one people should keep an interest on anyway to see how it works out, especially in the opening week.
Again, especially for those who are already familiar with how the 2-up and the 14-up works now, it's a nice little tournament to get to continue that with the 10-up. So yeah, it's hopefully can prove just as profitable.
And there is obviously we're expecting close matches here, Phil, but Italy are an interesting one. They could easily be the ones to watch out for 5 points up. They're capable of going ahead but losing the lead, so I think they could be the ones to watch here in match betting terms, anyway.
Yeah.
And so overall, it looks a fairly competitive championship. This one, the Irish are firm favourites, having overcame the All Blacks during the autumn. Rick, I know rugby union, obviously one of your many sports you're an expert in. The Irish are 4-5 odds on, quite very, very short price really, considering it's only a 6-team event, 5 if you don't include Italy. Would the Irish be smiling with Ricky's money on them?
No. I would look at again England 7-2 currently. Again, probably another romantic type of bet there, but yeah, 7-2 England would be where my money would be going at the minute.
And Phil, Ireland probably a third of the bets. With Wales are seeing a lot of money actually coming in to 5-1. Where would the Phil books be on?
I'm going to go for Scotland. Surprise outside win for them.
Not far. It is close. Scotland upset the odds. It came close to beating South Africa. It's not a silly bet. I think Wales or Scotland. I think England or Wales definitely. I think Wales, if they beat France this weekend, they're a pretty good shout at 5s. But it shows you where rugby is now. France 18-1. Who'd have thought it for Six Nations? But again, let's switch sports again. We're looking into Super League, which begins this week. Not one that is really open to match betting at the moment, Rick. We have to see whether Betfred or one of the other bookmakers introduces a 2-up or a 10 points up, like Rugby Union. It's one to keep an eye on, is it? You wouldn't rule out something like that coming in for Rugby League at some point.
No, not at all, especially with the popularity of it, and it seems to be popping up on most events now. But you say I'm not aware of it's anything happening just yet, which is definitely one to keep an eye out for and hopefully get introduced closer to the time. Yeah,
and even if it's not to, Phil, keep an eye on Betfred because they're probably liable or give us some good offers in the opening week as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's always one to keep
an eye on. And again, quick look at the outrights. Not one we're experts on again. But Warrington are my team. I'll stick with them. They're 7-2. We've made some big signings in the off-season, so I'm going with Warrington. Go on, Phil. Stab in the dark. Who would your big grand final winners be come October? I think it is
now. Leeds.
Yeah, good price. Leeds centre on. And Ricky, go on. Test your knowledge. Who are you going for?
David St Helens, currently best price 4-1 with Betfred.
Yeah, they opened up a thing. Betfred, if you are going to have the punt, but I think Betfred guarantee best odds throughout, as you would expect with the sponsors of the tournament. Why wouldn't they? And a quick look, next week we have the Premier League darts. Plenty of sport coming our way. And it's a welcome return of the darts. We saw another sport, Rick, which has introduced a good match betting element. Obviously, we had plenty of offers for darts anyway, but they offered, was it a 2 sets up? Ruling was yes. we saw that in the World Championship. It isn't confirmed yet for the Premier League, but it wouldn't be a huge surprise if we saw it, would it, Phil? Here?
No, I think we will see it again for that. Actually,
And obviously, Rick, the Premier League darts on a Thursday, it's really well placed, isn't it? A Thursday night, isn't it? It gets a lot of people watching on Sky, and a lot of people betting. So we fully expect there to be some good offers, and hopefully the two sets up on this. Or the two
legs, yeah.
They play legs, don't they? So it might be a sort of variant on it, but we would expect something. Yeah,
I would hope so. It's much more attuned to my lifestyle, the darts on a Thursday night. I'll quite enjoy it. But yeah, didn't show last year, but there's still plenty of offers around, revolving around, if the match is a draw or if you lose 7-5. But hopefully there'll be a 2 or 3 kind of 3 up offer, which will follow suit. But yeah, there'll be plenty going on with nearer the date anyway. But hopefully the 2 up or that or relevant of that will be part of it as well.
Yeah, and obviously keep a close eye on. I think is it Unibet still sponsoring it? Whoever's sponsoring it, I think it's Unibet again this year. Obviously, the sponsors tend to have some very good offers, don't they, for these ones? So keep an eye on them. Rick, give you first stab in the dark. This time, again, Van Gerwen, huge, the world champion. So impressive. Huge favourite. He's defending his title again here, isn't he? Can you look beyond the mighty Dutchman?
At those odds, yes. He's probably think unbeatable at times, but there are a couple of players I think on their day can kind of match him for the scoring, the likes of Gary Anderson and Michael Smith, whether they can keep it together over a full match towards the end of the tournament. But I'd probably go and look at someone like Anderson, currently 5-1, who can, on his day, can score. And, he's one of the very few players who can get under Michael's skin at times as well. So Anderson at 5-1 would be where my money would be going at the minute.
Yeah. Phil, would you be backing the Dutchman?
No, I think it's too short for me. I think Michael Smith is good value. You can get 10s on him, some bookmakers, so I think that is good value.
Yeah, the world finalist on his day, he was even ahead of Van Gerwen, wasn't he? Ali Pali at times in terms of scoring. I think a great bet here, 16-1, Peter Wright, snake bite. He went out early in the Worlds. I think he'd be looking for some redemption, and I think he's a real quality bet to be had. So that kicks off in Newcastle, close to our home patch here, next week. So I want to keep an eye on every Thursday. So before we sign off, let's have a quick look again at the football. Champions League and Europa League is back in a couple of weeks. And obviously we haven't seen much change in the market here. Let's just have a quick look back at the Champions League market. We've touched on this, haven't we, guys, in recent weeks, how short Manchester City are. And I think they're even getting a little bit shorter. I think, best price 3-1 at the minute, or 72, sorry, with Bet365. I think they are hard to look past, but I think there is value elsewhere for me. I still think Juve at 7-1 is the value here. Phil, I think we're all agreed here, City are far too short for the Champions League. It's such a wide open scenario.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm still sticking with Juve. I still think they're going to be good for it. I've said them all along.
Yeah, Ronaldo's been doing that, hasn't he? Rick, obviously you're agreed as well. City are far too short, and get 11-1 on your mighty Liverpool to do it here.
Good price. They get past Bayern Munich as well. My money at the minute would still be PSG. I think they're 15-2 best price, but yeah, along the lines with City, I think they are too short. But that's probably because quite a few people have got them in the multiples or the 4, to win all 4, so they're having to, not take any more risks with the odds they're offering on all the tournaments that they're still in. So as much as City, I do think are favourites. I think that's a bit too short. And I say PSG forward line can pretty much destroy anyone on the day. So yeah, 15-2, so a little bit of value there.
And 19-10, we've still got on a European winner here. I still think that's a fantastic price for the overall for an English team, guys. Yeah, it's still worth a punt. Phil, 19-10, so you're getting 6 bets for the price of 1. There, 2 Europa League teams, and the 4 Champions League teams. Do you think we'll see an English European winner here? I think there's a fair chance of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a decent price considering you've got the top 2 in the betting for the Europa League with Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yeah, and then the other 2, and obviously suddenly Man United against the Neymar less PSG. Suddenly United are looking all right, aren't they?
Not going to comment on that.
Nice one, Ray.
Are you doing a good job, Solskjaer? Long may it continue for this season only.
Yeah, he certainly is living up to the billing at the moment. And so that's where we are with these. Obviously, we're not going to go too much into Oscars, etc. There's lots of betting you can do. We're going to be back later in the early next month with a European special, and we'll be looking ahead to plenty of stuff in the new year. But thanks again for joining us, guys. We hope that was a little bit informative for you. But remember, the guys were always on the forum for you. Ricky and all his colleagues are there helping you out match betting wise. So please look on the forums. Any questions you have for us three on the podcast, we're here to help. So thanks for joining us, and we'll speak soon.